Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking. You're always looking for and finding the good. You found good in abundance because you've tuned in consciously and conscientiously to Eye on Las Vegas with your humble host, Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy. Notice I didn't say the ambassador of joy. The ambassador of joy. And we are going to fill you with joy today. Very special, amazing guest. You're going to love her. There's just so much good about this being. And we're going to talk to her in just a couple of minutes. Her name is Andi. She's going to bring you a lot of happiness and such. I just want to make mention to you about something fascinating. This place called Las Vegas. I live just outside of Las Vegas in Henderson, Nevada. Las Vegas is a name of a city that is known throughout the world. You can go anywhere in the world. I don't care if you go to communist China, deep in Africa, and in Southern America. You can go to any place. They know about Las Vegas. And one of the amazing things is if you take the entire population of the city of New York and all its environs, take the entire population of Chicago and everything around it, the entire population of Los Angeles, California, everything around it, you add it all together, it doesn't come up to the number of people who come to and through Las Vegas in any given year. Almost 41 million people come here because it's a place of freedom and expression. Yes, gaming, gambling, and fun and shows and all kinds of things, but it's a place where the spirit runs free. And now you're about to meet one of the more interesting, free-spirited, fabulous winners in life, and her name is wonderful Andi Murez. Andi, please say hello to about 419,822 people around the world.
Hello, thank you for having me on.
What a pleasure. So those of you who are watching, you'll see that you have this beautiful woman in a very sparse environment, just a blank wall and such like that. And then we'll tell you why in just a little bit and where she is and such. And if you're listening, you're going to hear some quite remarkable insights into how a bountiful, beautiful being lives. So if I started telling you all the things about Andi Murez, Murez, it would take the rest of the show. But I'm going to give you 3 highlights and data points. Number 1, she's a wonderful being who has a fabulous brother and a father and a mother. So that's right away a big leg up in the world. Number 2, she's an Olympic medalist in swimming. Ah! And number 3, she's in the healthcare world. She's becoming a doctor. So with those 3 data points, let's just jump right in to the pool. We'll use that as an example and talk to you, Andi. Let's discuss about swimming because it's something very dear to my heart, which I'll tell people in just a little bit. Both those people who've been following Barry Shore know the story already. You can go to barryshore.com and find out about it. However, I'd like you to start telling people something that I found very interesting in looking at your Wikipedia and such, is that you're not just a swimmer. You're part of a dynasty of swimming. And as a biologist and someone in the medical field, I'm asking truly with great interest, is there the possibility that there's a gene for swimming?
I think there are genes definitely that affect athletic ability and fast twitch muscle and all of that. I feel like I was lucky to be put into swimming early on and to, have my older brother in swimming as well, which really helped guide me and support me. And yeah, there might be. I don't think that there's any clear.
Okay, that's your brother. I'm looking at the Wikipedia, and your father was a swimmer. Your grandparents, both grandfathers on 2 sides, were swimmers. And I don't mean just they knew how to swim. They were competitive swimmers. That's the key here. We're talking about competitive swimming. So that you're talking about generations already. And
Yeah.
you're built for swimming.
Yeah. So that part in terms of genetics, I think is really helpful. I have a big wingspan, even longer than I am tall. And having long arms is really advantageous in swimming. And then, yeah, just my height, I'm almost 6'1". So that's
Which,
well.
again, for a 30 plus minus year old woman, that's tall, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you get up to the Olympic level, there are a number of women swimmers that are 6 feet. But, on average, it is very tall.
Right. Now, I love that idea that your wingspan, when I think of that, I hear the term, obviously, just as a regular guy, I think of Michael Phelps. His
Mhm.
wingspan is very famous, right? and also another interesting athlete was Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had a remarkably large wingspan, and one of the most iconic photographs, if you can look it up, and everybody's listening, look it up, has Michael Jordan with his arms out, palming a basketball.
Mm.
That's not simple. So, but let's talk about you and competitive swimming, because again, it's one thing to be a swimmer, which I'll tell the story because I'm a swimmer, but I wanted to focus on you, is that you were a competitive swimmer. Now, competition is a very interesting aspect of the human psyche. So I'd like you to speak as an Olympic swimmer who's won medals, 17 plus medals for two different countries, Israel and America.
In the Maccabia, yeah.
Yes. Talk to us about the psychology of winning.
Well, I guess I would go back. I mean, I'm sort of thinking like how I grew up and got into competitive swimming. And I think, I loved games as a kid, and I loved winning games, and I was very competitive with my brother. We would play lots of games. And so I think it sort of stems from that. And then eventually getting good at swimming and wanting to win. I think everyone wants to win. And if you are willing to work hard and dedicate yourself to a sport like swimming, then it's very enjoyable to win as you go up and as you grow and throughout all of the competitions. So there's just this feeling. I mean, I think we've learned over the years, like as you progress in swimming, that it's not all about the end result, but obviously that end result of winning at the big competition each year is the goal, but then it's also still focusing on the little goals throughout the year and just enjoying the process. So I think it's both, and focusing too much on the winning aspect can be detrimental as well.
So I love this aspect that you mentioned, enjoying the process. So let's be blunt. The process is not, gee, I'm going to go swimming for a half hour a day. When you were a competitive swimmer, how often were you in the pool?
So our practices were 2 hours each, and 3 days a week we were practicing double. So 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and then 3 days a week, just one single 2-hour practice, and then 1 day off to rest and recover.
So there was the idea of understanding that a Sabbath in the process of rebuilding the body as well as the mind is very important, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So when I was training in Israel, we would have Saturday off. When I'm training in the US, we have Sunday off. Okay. But yes, the idea of recovery is very important.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. So I mean, here you are in a competition, and whether it's a world-class competition for, let's say, in the Olympics, representing Israel, or in some for America, you're competing against peers. You're not competing against just anybody. You're competing against people who are presumably as capable as you. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
And that brings an extra, how shall we call it, psychology, I would think. In other words, you look to your left, you look to your right, and you're seeing 4 or 5 other people who also have wingspans and have been practicing, who want to win, who enjoy the process, and you're in competitions. You're in the 100 freestyle, et cetera, et cetera. And that, how long does the whole race only last for? What, a couple of minutes?
It depends what race. For the 100 freestyle, it's less than a minute. For the 200 freestyle, it's about 2 minutes.
Right. So in the course of a minute or 2 minutes, things that you've been working on for days, weeks, months, maybe years, all happen in a moment. And
Yeah.
again, be able to focus on that and enjoy the focusing. And do you visualize yourself winning?
Yeah. Yeah. So I practice visualization. That's what I was going to say, is that there's a lot of mental buildup to the competition. And although I'm standing next to all of my peers, getting ready for the race, I'm trying to focus on my race, because there's nothing I can control about the other people and how they'll swim. And so I'm focused on what I've done to prepare, my race strategy, and just focusing on how I'm going to perform in the competition.
Okay, I want to use that as a springboard to talk about. See, the reason people tune into this show is not because of you, Andi. Really, you're fabulous, or about me, even. I'm great. It's about the people watching it. This show is all about you becoming the best you. I want to use what you just said so to apply it to everybody who's understanding that the race of success in life is focusing on your race, making sure that you use your strategy to be successful, to win. And if you start focusing on the others around you, you will lose focus. You will dissipate your energy. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
This is so wonderful. And again, talking about a person who wins gold medals, silver medals. You're not talking about somebody who just, by the way, even to get into competition, you have to be one of the best in the country, right? You're not talking about just, okay, you sign a piece of paper, I want to swim. You have to be selected. You have the time trials. You have to go through lots of rigorous training and such on a regular basis and get your mind, your heart, and your body in shape. Isn't that correct?
Yes. Yeah. For the Olympics, you have to do a time standard to qualify for the Israeli Olympic team. And also to qualify for the Maccabi, you send in your application with your times and they choose you. Luckily in swimming, it's objective and the time on the clock says it all. And so it's nice that it's not, people picking you per se, just based on what they think your performance is like.
Well, so again, the 100 meters freestyle, I guess we call it freestyle, I call it a crawl, but we'll call it the freestyle.
Yeah.
What is your best time? Or do you remember?
Yeah, 54.0.
54 seconds for 100 meters. So I happen to be a swimmer these days. I'll tell you why in just a moment. And so I swim in a 25-meter pool, the standard, right? So I get, when you swim in the 100-meter event, it's a 50-meter pool, right? So it's one lap, back and forth, because it's too much to turn.
Well, if you're in the US, most of the pools are 25 yards.
Right.
Yeah.
I happen to be it's a 25-meter, but yes, okay.
Okay.
But even the same thing. By the way, do you remember swimming in Santa Monica at all? Because you grew up in Venice. Did you ever swim at the Santa Monica College athletic pools?
Yeah, that's where I grew up swimming. That was my club team from when I was 7 until I was 17 when I went off to college.
Right. So we share that in common. I'm going to tell you very quickly. We're going to go to a quick commercial break because we have people who love us. Don't go away. There's more Andi coming back, and we're going to migrate from swimming into medicine because she is just such a winner. She's such a giver. I love talking with you. Be right back after this brief message. Don't go away.
What if you could shop at your favorite local stores, swipe your current credit card, and get extra cashback rewards? And what if you could also have donations sent to your favorite cause at no extra cost to you? What if this amazing program was absolutely free and very simple to set up? Well, What If is here. Welcome to Einstein Cares, where your everyday shopping gives you and your favorite cause extra money. It's fast, it's easy, and effortless.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved of little beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking because you're always looking for and finding the good. Our cup runneth over with good. Her name is Andi Murez, and she is the embodiment of winning. She's a swimmer, not just a swimmer. She's an Olympic swimmer. She is charismatic. She is capable, and she got a scholarship to Stanford, a swimming scholarship to Stanford, studying biology. So it's not a simple gig to do that. And she decided, I'm going to become a medical doctor. And of course, she applies to places all over the country and gets accepted to a place called the Mayo Clinic, the most famous clinic in the United States of America and probably the world. People come from everywhere to go to the Mayo Clinic. So I'm going to ask you, wonderful Andi, and I'm privileged to know many people in the healthcare industry. When did you know that you wanted to be a healthcare giver, a doctor?
Well, I think from a young age, I thought about being a doctor and wanting to help people. And I was interested in the human body. And then through swimming, I also got interested in it. Like, how can I get faster? How can I build more muscle? What is nutrition? How does that play into everything? And then also the mental aspect of wanting to be fast and be able to deal with the pressure of competition. And so there were a lot of pieces that made me interested in it without really realizing it throughout my schooling. I just enjoyed studying the human biology at Stanford, and then in medical school, I enjoyed all of my rotations and all of the different subjects, but I was drawn to psychiatry. And so now I'm a psychiatry resident at Mayo Clinic.
And that was, like you said, that was a result of the swimming process of wanting to know more about the human being. And when did you want to become a giver to society, which is what you're doing? That's what a doctor is. You're there to heal and help. Was that also from an early age? Because nobody else in your family is in the medical profession, right?
Correct. I think from an early age, I liked, on the swim team, they helped us or encouraged us to help the younger swimmers. And I particularly liked that in teaching the younger swimmers and helping them through whatever challenges they were facing. And then I also did that, I think, just some volunteering in college. And I just wanted to continue that. I've been told I'm a good listener and that I'm, very helpful and like helping other people, and it brings me joy. So I just kind of continued along on this path.
And by the way, as I said before, that I think is part of your family situation. You were raised in a beautiful, giving environment in a Jewish home, and everything was oriented towards what do we do to help? What do we do to serve? So I'll tell you a very quick story. Again, those are people who know my story. You can go to barryshore.com and look at the backstory. So just tell you very briefly, when I talk about swimming now, I was not a swimmer prior to something that happened to me 20 years ago. I was standing up in the morning, completely healthy and hearty. In the evening, I was in the hospital, quadriplegic. How did I become a quadriplegic? Not from an automobile accident, not a spinal injury. I got a very rare disease, which I never heard of the day before, called Guillain-Barré syndrome, GBS. Overnight, in the morning, healthy. In the evening, in the hospital, quadriplegic, can only communicate by blinking my eyes. I was 144 days in the hospital. I was in a hospital bed in my own home for 2 years. I couldn't move. I was in a wheelchair for 4 years, braces on both my legs, thanks to my ankles. And that was progress. In the process of gaining back my upper body, which you can see I can move and do things now. I can't get up from this chair. I'm basically paralyzed from the waist down still. Can't sit up. However, we did aquatic therapy to help me gain back some movement and such. And I'll make the story very short. In the process of that, which took about 1.5 years before I could move anything in my body by myself, I one day moved my arm over my head, then another one. I essentially did a backstroke. I did 2 of those. Wow! Because I hadn't moved in years. I hit my head against the side of the pool. I said, yay! And it hurt. I turned myself around. I didn't stop for 98 minutes that first day. So if I'm going to make the story very short, I now swim, Andy, 2 miles a day, 6 days a week, and I've been doing that for 14 years.
Wow.
So it takes me, I have to wear assistive devices. I have floaters on my legs so they don't sink, because otherwise I couldn't swim. I wear paddles because my hands don't close. I use a snorkel. And I also my 2 miles. So when you tell me you do 154 seconds, again, you're Olympic champion, et cetera, et cetera. So it takes me 100 seconds to swim. To swim 50 yards. But it doesn't matter. I'm not there for speed. I'm there for endurance and such like that. So I love, that's why I'm so drawn to you, because the idea of swimming to me is one of the most remarkably rejuvenating, liberating exercises that anybody could do. So I'm going to ask you, do you swim at all for fun? I guess not.
I don't know. I mean, if my friends or family are going in the pool, I'll go in the pool with them. It seems, I don't know. I think at this point it's still for exercise. I mean, I enjoy it. Like, I enjoy finishing a hard workout, but the process of, I mean, any workout isn't very fun while it's going on if it's, right, really tough and pushing you. So it's more for the feeling accomplished afterwards.
So do you feel like, I'll use an analogy, excuse me, like a racehorse? The minute you hear a bell, bing, you're out. So the minute you get in the pool, you're already thinking, okay, looking at that lane, do I have clearance? And I need to just do a couple of laps just to feel that joy again.
No, I don't think I feel that, because if I jump in the water, well, if it's cold, then yes, I feel like I need to swim laps.
Oh, okay, fine.
But otherwise, we work a lot on body awareness in the water, and being able to float and being able to like move the water around and really get a good feeling for the water. And so I think that is more enjoyable. So if I'm just jumping in the water, I'm just trying to feel the water and don't feel like I need to, go ahead and sprint from the beginning.
I'm so glad to hear this, because that's what people ask me, wow, you swim all this. I record every mile. I'm exceeding now, as of today, 9,841 miles since I started swimming. So I swim, but what I do is I tell people I just move the water around. Yeah, maybe, I'm too excited. I just move the water, because I'm not there to do anything other than maintain this beautiful, healthy being and such like that. So let's talk more about what you're doing with psychiatry in the Mayo Clinic, because again, this is one of the most important places in the world, and you're being trained with and by the best. Is it in any way, let me rephrase that. In what ways is it challenging you that you didn't expect?
That's an interesting question that I didn't expect, because I really did expect it to be very challenging. From all of the people, my friends that have graduated medical school before me, I knew that it was going to be challenging. So I don't know that there's something so unexpected, because I think I expected it to be. You expected
it. You expected even the unexpected.
Well, I just expected there to be a lot of challenges throughout.
Okay.
I mean, the hours that we work, it's really challenging. The patients, and especially when you're working in the hospital setting where someone is hospitalized, that it's very acute. Difficult situations, and hearing, especially in psychiatry, you hear a lot about the social side of things and what's going on in their life, and that's getting in the way of their mental health. And so it's very challenging in that sense as well, just with the patient population that we work with.
Right. So I was going to ask you, the population you work with, I mean, let's be very blunt and clear. These are people, it's not just they have challenges in life. These are people who need to be under psychiatric care. So that's why I asked you about swimming. I would think that after a long rotation, I don't care if it's 8 hours, 12 hours, maybe 18 hours, that you would almost want to get in the water just to swim, just to sort of find a mechanism to find a way to refresh, because otherwise it can be almost oppressive. You don't want to, obviously, you can't be dispassionate, and yet you're being given a lot of stuff from a lot of other people trying to sort it out. And it's put it this way, you're not dealing with people who are saying, my life is really very good and I'm very happy to be here with you and talking today. It's always coming in quotation marks, from the negative perspective. Am I correct?
Yeah. And so we discuss, I feel very fortunate to be here. Our department is very supportive. And so they definitely talk about our own personal mental health and finding ways to, protect your own mental health as well. And so I do exercise. I think I've just been swimming so much for so long that I don't mind a break from the water, but I really like Pilates, reformer Pilates in particular. And so I've been doing that. Definitely, I feel like exercise helps relieve the stress.
Okay, that's what I meant. Now, as I said, jumping in the pool, it's the ability to do something in the physical realm that will enable you to allow that mental pressure, as it were, to be able to flow. And you're right, Pilates, can't get much better than that. That's wonderful stuff. Are you going to become a Pilates expert? Because everything you do, you seem to become expert at.
Well, I just do it when I can. Right now, I'm not in any training course, but we'll see what happens. You never know. But no, I just like going and doing the exercises. I think it was very helpful this past year leading up to the Paris Olympics. I felt like the exercises were really helpful for my swimming as well.
That's right. You were in the Paris Olympics, 2024. Hello. It's not as if you're divorced from the water. You were just in the water in Paris just a few months ago. Hello.
Yeah, I think it's been about 3 or 4 months. So I'm taking a break. I mean, I've been in the water a couple times, but I haven't been doing any big training sessions.
Oh, this is so wonderful. It's so uplifting to feel the power and the strength of, and I'm saying this with complete respect, of young people who are positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant forces in the world. So I thank you so much for being you. We're just so happy. I have 3, I'm sorry to say this, we're coming to a close for our time together. I have 3 quick questions. Are you ready?
Sure.
Number 1, will you come back again?
What do you mean?
Will you come back and do another podcast if we ask you to?
Oh, sure.
Okay, thank you. Number 2, you only have 80 seconds to answer this, wonderful Andi Murez. Yes, pressure.
Yeah.
What is your most fervent desire?
Oh. That's tough. I mean, right now I'm training to be a psychiatrist, so to help as many people as possible with mental health.
Mental wellness. So if you went to when people go to my website, barryshore.com, you'll see that one of my handle in life, I'm called the Ambassador of Joy. And I'm a mental wellness advocate. I don't call it mental health, actually. I call it mental wellness. Mm-hmm. Mental wellness advocate, because I've been through stuff. I know what it's like to be in wheelchairs, immobilized, paralyzed, stuff. Okay, number 3, may I give you a hug in front of 422,819 people around the world?
Sure.
Let me tell you what HUG stands for. Ready? Heartfelt, unlimited giving. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. And again, you're listening to Eye on Las Vegas with your humble host, Barry Shore, and our amazing guest, wonderful Andi Murez, Olympic swimming champion, and now at the Mayo Clinic, training to be a psychiatrist so she can help so many people around the world with mental well-being. And we urge everybody to use the following. Remember, the 3 most fundamental aspects of life. You do these and you'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Your life has purpose. Number 2, go mad. Mad means make a difference. Lead a purpose-driven life. You make a difference in the world like Andi does. And the 3rd is uncover the power and the sequence of everyday words and terms like we just did. Hug, happy, healthy, unlimited giving. And our blessing from Andi and Barry is go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Andi, don't go away.